What would you do if the love of your life was murdered by your own father? Would you forgive? Would you forget? Or would you do what Prince Pedro of Portugal did in 1361? Something so dark, so twisted, that it became legend across Europe. He dug up her corpse, he placed a crown on her rotting head, and he forced every nobleman who had murdered her to kneel down and kiss her decomposing hand. This is the story of Pedro and Inês, a forbidden love that began in secret, ended in blood, and resulted in one of the most macabre scenes in royal history. A love so powerful that even death couldn't stop it. Tonight, you'll discover why they call her the Corpse Queen, and why this medieval romance is darker than any horror story. Let me take you to Portugal, 1340. Prince Pedro was supposed to marry Constanza of Castile. It was a political arrangement, as all royal marriages were, but when the Spanish princess arrived in Portugal with her ladies-in-waiting, Pedro's eyes fell on someone else entirely. Inês de Castro. She was Constanza's lady-in-waiting, a noblewoman with cascading dark hair and eyes that, according to chronicles, held the mystery of the ocean. She was beautiful, graceful, and completely forbidden. Pedro was engaged to her mistress, but love doesn't care about politics. At first, it was just stolen glances during court ceremonies, then secret meetings in the palace gardens, then something more. While Pedro married Constanza and performed his royal duties, his heart belonged entirely to Inês. The affair remained hidden for years. Pedro and Constanza had children. He played the role of dutiful husband, but every chance he got, he was with Inês. The servants knew, the court whispered, but no one dared speak openly about it. Then, in 1345, everything changed. Constanza died, giving birth to their third child. Pedro was finally free. What happened next shocked the Portuguese court. Pedro didn't just take Inês as a mistress, he may have secretly married her. Historians still debate this, but what we know for certain is that he moved her into the palace, into the queen's chambers, and treated her as his wife in everything but official title. They had 4 children together. Pedro showered her with gifts, titles, and land. He was utterly devoted to her, writing letters where he called her the light that guides my darkness and the only truth in a world of lies. But this love story was about to become a nightmare. Pedro's father, King Afonso IV, was furious. Inês was connected to the Castilian royal family, Portugal's greatest enemy. Having her so close to the throne, having her children potentially in line for succession, was a political disaster. The king's advisors whispered constantly in his ear, "She must go. She is a threat to Portugal." King Afonso confronted his son multiple times. "Send her away. Take a proper wife." Pedro refused. "I would rather lose my crown than lose Inês." The king realized his son would never listen, so he decided to take matters into his own hands. On January 7th, 1355, while Pedro was away hunting, the king made his move. 3 of the king's most trusted nobles, Pero Coelho, Álvaro Gonçalves, and Diego López Pacheco, rode to the monastery of Santa Clara in Coimbra, where Inês was staying with her children. She saw them coming. She knew what it meant. According to the chronicles, Inês fell to her knees before them, with her children clinging to her skirts. She begged for mercy. She pleaded for her life, not for herself, but for her children. "They are innocents. They are the prince's blood." The nobles were unmoved. King Afonso had given the order, though some accounts say he was there himself, watching from a distance.
They dragged her away from her screaming children, and they killed her. Some say it was a sword through the throat. Others say they stabbed her multiple times. The fountain of loves where she died ran red with her blood. She was only 30 years old. When Pedro returned and learned what had happened, witnesses said his howl of anguish could be heard throughout the palace. He collapsed, he wept, and then his grief turned into something darker, pure rage. Pedro immediately declared war, not on another kingdom, but on his own kingdom. Civil war erupted across Portugal. Father fought son. Kingdom divided. The land ran with blood for 2 years until the Queen Mother finally negotiated peace. But Pedro never forgave. He was simply waiting. In 1357, King Afonso IV died and Pedro became king. His first act as monarch? Justice for Inês. He declared that he had been legally married to Inês in secret, making her his legitimate queen. This made their children legitimate heirs, but that wasn't enough for Pedro's grief and rage. He wanted the murderers. 2 of the 3 murderers who killed Inês had fled to Castile, but Pedro was patient. He negotiated with the Castilian king, offering a deal. He would return Castilian fugitives hiding in Portugal if Castile returned the men who murdered Inês. The Castilian king agreed. Pero Coelho and Álvaro Gonçalves were handed over. The 3rd murderer, Diego López Pacheco, managed to stay hidden in Castile and eventually died there, the only one to escape Pedro's vengeance. What Pedro did next became legendary for its brutality. He had both men brought before him in chains. Then, in front of the entire court, he personally ripped out their hearts. Some accounts say he did it while they were still alive. Others say he ripped out the heart of one from his chest and the other from his back, declaring, "They attacked my heart from both sides." He had their bodies torn apart and displayed across the kingdom as a warning. But his revenge wasn't complete. The darkest part was still to come. In 1361, 6 years after Inés's death, Pedro ordered her body exhumed from her tomb. He had her corpse dressed in royal robes. He placed a crown on her skull, and he had her remains placed on a throne in the palace. Then he summoned every noble in Portugal to court. One by one, they were forced to approach the corpse of Inês de Castro, kneel before her, and kiss her decomposing hand, acknowledging her as their queen. The smell must have been unbearable, the sight horrifying, but no one dared refuse. Pedro sat beside her corpse the entire time, watching, making sure every noble paid homage to his dead beloved. According to some accounts, he kept her body in the palace for days, holding court with her corpse beside him, speaking to her as if she were alive, sometimes even sleeping next to her remains. Finally, he had her body moved to the monastery of Alcobaça, where he had commissioned 2 of the most elaborate tombs ever created in Portugal. He placed Inés's tomb directly opposite where his own would be, foot to foot, so that on Judgment Day, when they were resurrected, the first thing they would see would be each other's faces. The inscription on her tomb read, "Hasta el fin del mundo," until the end of the world. Pedro ruled Portugal for 10 more years, but he never remarried. He never took another lover. He visited Inés's tomb regularly, speaking to her, bringing her flowers, maintaining his devotion even in death. The people called him Pedro the Cruel for his brutal revenge and dark reign, but others called him Pedro the Just for his fierce loyalty and the fact that he punished those who had wronged an innocent woman. He died in 1367 and was buried exactly as he had planned, directly opposite Inés, their feet touching through stone, waiting for resurrection. Their tombs still stand today in the monastery of Alcobaça, exactly as Pedro designed them over 650 years ago. Tourists from all over the world come to see them, to read the love poems carved in the stone, to witness the final resting place of a love that defied death itself. The story of Pedro and Inês became legend throughout Europe. Poets wrote about them, artists painted them, their tale inspired operas, plays, and countless retellings. Even today, the Fountain of Loves where Inês died is called the Fonte dos Amores, and people say that if you drink from it, you'll experience a love as powerful and tragic as theirs. But here's what haunts me about this story. Was Pedro's love romantic, or was it madness? Was his revenge justice or cruelty? Can love be so powerful that it drives you to darkness? These are questions people have debated for nearly 700 years, and we still don't have answers. What we know is this: true love stories aren't always beautiful. Sometimes they're dark.
What we do know is this: true love stories aren't always beautiful. Sometimes they're dark. Sometimes they're twisted. Sometimes they end with a crown on a corpse and blood on a throne. And sometimes that's exactly what makes them unforgettable. If you want more dark historical love stories that history tried to forget, subscribe to Echoes of Forbidden Love. Hit that notification bell, because next time I'm bringing you a story even darker than this one. Until then, remember, the greatest love stories aren't always the happiest ones. They're the ones we can never forget. Thanks for watching Echoes of Forbidden Love. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you in the next one.